Alright, what's going on everyone? We are back in Alan Wake 2 and we're going to take a look today with the 5090 at widescreen resolution. And right now we are on the lowest presets, so everything is just kind of bottomed out. We're just getting like a baseline. This is DLAA, no frame gen, no ray tracing. And we are about 135 FPS here, so we got a long way we can stretch this thing out. So let me come over here. And come down here and just let's go up to medium. Medium has a nice look to it, a lot better looking, you know, detail and whatnot. I'm in this area right here because the ray tracing looks really good once you turn that on. And we're also going to go back and check out the starting area of the forest after this, so just be sure you hang on and catch that. But yeah, we are looking like 130 FPS here. Again, no upscaling. 0.1% lows. We're just going to let it collect some frames real quick because that's looking a lot better. 135 FPS with 1% lows, about over 100. So we're looking good as far as all this stuff goes. I mean, this is a 5090. You're not going to run out of VRAM. It's going to be probably fine. I was just curious what you could kind of expect for a game that is still extremely demanding. Because this is a little bit, it pushes a GPU a little bit more than 1440 does, but it's not quite 4K. So right here, you know, this is kind of an in-between as far as like how much processing power it requires. But yeah, we're at about 125, 122 FPS here. Still looking really good though. 9800X3D is of course the CPU of choice when it comes to a high-end rig like this. If you can swing it, but you know, anything 3D V-cache is going to be fine for the most part. It's, you know, especially at a little bit higher resolution like this, you should be okay. So yeah, we're just going to keep on going through it here and going to that very next level. So let's come in here and check out high, or no, not high, but ultra, my fake ultra that I make on this title. It doesn't max everything out, but it doesn't have an ultra setting, so you kind of have to like do it yourself. All right, so everything's pretty much maxed out. No ray tracing, just getting a baseline. We're just kind of seeing where we're at with no upscaling and no ray tracing, and you're still at over 100 FPS here. So latency up there, sometimes I refer to that as your PCL. It's about 26 milliseconds. Not that you need a high one on this particular game, but it is nice to see a nice low PCL like that. So right now we're just going to kick over to some ray tracing and see what we can do there, because that is where it's really going to get interesting. All right, so we're going to leave it all on our ultra setting, my air quotes ultra, because it doesn't really call it that. But so right now we're showing ray tracing low. We need to turn this stuff off. Right here, these two things will ruin your override. It'll try to go back to a really old version of DLSS, so we're just going to leave those off for now. Of course, once any update comes out, I'll start retesting with ray reconstruction. But right now we're at about 112 FPS here. 1% low, 66 FPS, and yeah, we're looking pretty good here as far as all that goes. So no big deal, everything's looking fine. So let's keep on going with some more ray tracing. Let's come into here and come down to the ray tracing section. I like to show these sections just because you know, a lot of benchmarkers just want to like skim through everything super fast, and you have a hard time knowing what they're even testing. So I try to take this slow, and I like to go through it with you guys. So what I did was I left it on medium, but since I turned off ray reconstruction and direct lighting, it switches it to custom. Otherwise, it's just medium. All right, so just clearing that up. All right, so that gives us about 92 FPS here. Again, this is widescreen, 3440 by 1440. One of my favorite resolutions for sure. But it gives you about 33 milliseconds of PCL latency. That's your post-compute latency. That is kind of an overall system measurement of your latency. So I like to include that as well as the override, so you guys can know which override I'm using. But right in this kind of wooded area, this is why we're going to go back to the area at the beginning of the game, because as you can see over here, just these few trees and some vegetation drops it down to the 70s. And we're not really all the way up on our ray tracing yet, so let's just keep going and see what we can do with a little bit more ray tracing. So let's come down here. Now I can go up like one more, because ultra is basically everything maxed out without ray reconstruction and direct lighting. So this is the ultimate form that we can push it to before it wants to go back. But since we aren't doing any upscaling and we're not on the lower tier, we're not on those lower tier overrides, we might try some ray reconstruction and just see what preset it uses and just kind of visually see if it makes a huge difference. Right now, this is there is a denoiser running, but it is not ray reconstruction. Ray reconstruction is a good bit better, but you know, it still looks obviously really good. We're at complete native right here, so this GPU can retain ray reconstruction and not have to go as far down into like ultra performance or anything like that. I'm not sure why my screen keeps disappearing. It's just a weird glitch with how I'm monitoring this on a second computer. Okay, I think it's done. I just want to make sure that the screen is not doing anything weird. It doesn't affect performance, it's just the capture is doing something funky, and I have not figured out what the heck is going on with it. But yeah, we're still at about 80 FPS here. All right, so let's just keep on rolling through it. Right now we can do a little upscaling, you know, wouldn't hurt anything. Get our frames back up here. So everything is basically to the max. Now I just want to clear it up. If I turn any of this on, it's going to turn this on. So just, you know, make sure that you have this off if you want that override to work. So let's come back out of it. All right, so ray reconstruction has went inactive, so there's no more ray reconstruction override, and we're back to that preset K. So right now we are preset K, 121 FPS, everything completely maxed out without ray reconstruction. It's just like the normal NVIDIA denoiser. All right, so let's just go on up a little bit more. This is a 144 hertz panel. This is my widescreen panel. So let's see if we can get close to that. Just out of curiosity, what it would take for something like that. If I can get to the right place, I always fly right by it talking, just like can't shut up. All right, so this is balanced. All right, balanced still uses that preset K, so it looks so good though. God, this is like so nice. Look at that reflection. If you've watched any of my couple hundred videos I've got now, I just gush and nerd out over some reflections. Just how far we've come. I started playing games in 1985, and look at us now. But yeah, we're looking good. My screen is still blinking in and out. That's got nothing to do with the game at all. I just want to be clear. It's just some sort of weird thing that this capture is doing. But yeah, we're at 133 FPS here, 126. So let's keep on going. Let's see what some like really hardcore upscaling can do. And we have not turned on frame generation either. So if you like really, really thorough, detailed tests like this, I try to make them kind of exhaustive. You should subscribe. That would be great. I pay for everything out of pocket. None of this is cheap. And anytime you hit subscribe, it validates that I am doing the right thing with my life. And I really appreciate that validation right now. So yeah, we're looking good. As far as all this goes, we're just going to leave it all completely maxed out. We're just checking out some of the new overrides. So this should kick on M. Yep. So this is performance on the M override preset, and we're at 144 hertz with no upscaling or with no frame gen necessary, and our latency is right there at 23 milliseconds. So I know you see a lot of stuff up there like inactive and NA. Just ignore that. I just got a bunch of things turned on right now to monitor. But yeah, we are looking about 115 FPS over here in this area. So good to go. Let's check out the Ultra Performance, and that is by and large one of the best looking DLSS 4 you know, kind of updates. I don't need to go there. I need to go here. Ultra Performance just looks so good. Now you don't need it on a, you know, you don't need it on a 5090, but here you go. You're upscaling from 480p. And it still looks remarkably sharp. Now, not as sharp as native, of course. Definitely not as sharp as quality or native, but it's still very, very passable compared to what it used to be, which was abysmal, unusable. It was so blurry. But right here, you are looking like 161 FPS here, so well over the refresh rate of the monitor finally without any frame generation. However, how I would probably run it, at least in this area, is I would just use a quality upscale. I personally think a quality upscale is like just fine to do all the time, unless it's just some weird issue that I'm not aware of. It looks so good at this point that I don't see the point in not using it. It's just like free performance to me. So I'm going to go up to this ultra preset here. I'm going to leave ray reconstruction on. So this is the old override. So, you know, I'm just being clear, and I'm just going to go 2x. All right. So as good as the overrides are on a 5090, I don't think you need to go beyond quality at all. And preset D is fine in my opinion. It looks really good. Ray reconstruction is nice. And right here we're at 188, 192 FPS. Now, the preset D, honestly, I'm kind of like, I'm looking at it with like a lot of super duper, like, you know, pixel peeping kind of thing. I think that potentially without ray reconstruction right now, it looks sharper on the override on preset K. Maybe it's just so minor that, you know, I don't know, but it just looks a little bit better on preset K, even with that ray reconstruction off. So between the two, this is a super personal decision in my opinion. You know, ray reconstruction without, you know, it's kind of up to you. There's really not a big difference when you're just using a quality upscale. It looks fantastic either way. So, you know, I'm just going to leave it there. Let's go up a little bit more on our frame gen. So go 3x, see what that does for our latency. Latency's looking good. Anytime you use additional frame generation, it's going to add a little bit more latency. That's kind of why I don't use more frame generation than necessary. I like to get kind of where I need to go with just some upscaling. And if it's still not quite there, I like to just turn down my settings a bit. And then turn on frame generation once I get to a good point. And then, of course, bring it back up depending on what my latency does. If my latency's hovering around 50 or less, I crank up some frame gen. I mean, that's just me personally. And you can do the same. You can be different. It's up to you. That's the beauty of PCs, is that you can play exactly how you want to. So right here, 280 FPS quality. Yeah, I mean, this is a cakewalk for this card. Honestly, I didn't think it would be any different, but yeah, you're looking at 345 FPS with just a quality upscale. And full path tracing, full ray tracing, like, damn, you know, here we are. I don't know who the hell would need 335 FPS on a game like this, but if you want it, this is how you do it. All right, so let's go through a little bit more of the upscale and just kind of see what it looks like with some of this frame gen. And then we're going to go over to that forest and, you know, just keep an eye on all the settings in between both of these areas. This is going to be a very long video and, you know, just a little nod to the channel. The longer you watch my videos, actually, that is like the best thing you could do ever for me. So if you like my stuff, you know, of course, like it, make sure you're subscribed, but just watching half the video, a quarter of the video even, anything over like 8-9 minutes is amazing. It really just boosts my channel more than you realize. So the YouTube is weird, but that's what it likes. So if you want to support me, that's the easiest way to do it. All right, so yeah, we are looking at 220 FPS here. Let's go on down and kick it over to a 3x, still on the preset K, so no ray reconstruction right now. We're just kind of seeing how insane we can get these frames. But yeah, we are at about 300 FPS here on 3x, running through it, you know, pretty quickly. These are obviously kind of unnecessary settings, but I like to be thorough. So yeah, we are at 37 milliseconds here on our PCL with 4x frame gen. This is how you use frame gen. This is like the intended purpose for it for me. I don't like a lot of latency with frame gen. So, you know, I like to get to a good place before frame gen is enabled, but right here on a 5090, you're just fine. I mean, this is like pretty much a cakewalk. Yeah. So let's come down here. Let's go to 2x on performance, 30 milliseconds, 220 FPS. So that's good. All right, let's just keep on rolling through. Go to 3x, come into here. All right, so 3x, got 270, 310, 300. Yeah, we're fine. And this is largely due to the fact that you have so much freaking VRAM on this card that it's just like, FrameGen is just like eating up, lapping up VRAM everywhere. I mean, it's just totally fine. It's not like it's not like this game like demands a lot of VRAM, but just how VRAM is used by frame generation. It's important to remember. The more VRAM you got, the better. So right here we are allocating 12 using about 10.3. So everything looks good. All right, so let's just keep on going. Make this kind of a thorough test here. Let's go check out 4X. All right, so 390 FPS here on full ray tracing, path tracing on 1440p widescreen. Yeah, we're liking this. This is nice. All right, looks really good still. All right, so let's just keep on going. One more check. So we're going to go to ultra performance. Not that you need this, but this is just kind of like I just want to see how many frames we can honestly do here. So yeah, we are at 26 milliseconds on our latency and 260 FPS. So right here we are just screaming through some frames, and everything feels really good. So let's come down here, go to that 3x. I'm seeing if we can get 400 and like how close we get to 500 FPS in a path tracing single player beautiful title like this. So yeah, we are at preset L. Let's keep on going. 28 milliseconds. So let's see if we can get over 400. All right, so let's come over here and check this out. That gives us 433 FPS with 32 milliseconds of PCL, post-compute latency there. And yeah, this is insane. All right, so that was kind of fun to do, but we're just going to jump over to the beginning area and run through some of these higher level settings to see kind of what we can expect there. So I'm going to do that now, and I'll see you in a second. All right, so here we are in the forest area, and we have 48 FPS. The following settings are basically no upscaling, no frame generation, with everything set to our fake ultra setting, with full path tracing on, minus ray reconstruction, of course. So right here we are at 51 FPS. So as you can see, it can kind of bring it to its knees a little bit if you don't use upscaling. This game is extremely demanding, and we're not at 4K. To be clear, this is not a 4K, not close to 4K demand. So, you know, it's still quite shocking to me that a, you know, $2,000 MSRP card can still not hit 60 on 1440p widescreen. So let's jump over and do a little bit of upscaling. I keep going there. Let's keep going over here. A little upscaling. Do that, and we should be good to go. This should take care of it as far as you know, a solid plus 60 experience goes. PCL's down in the 30s, which is great. So yeah, we don't really need to do anything here. I would probably just kick on maybe like a 2x frame gen just to kind of like round it out, because your latency is low enough, and it's very, very sharp. Looks really good. So what I'm going to do now is turn on the ray reconstruction. Of course, that's going to you know, kind of kill the override that we have set, but I just want to see how it looks with kind of everything just completely maxed out on quality. Well, let's go up to DLAA. Let's check it out on DLAA first. So yeah, down in the 45, 42. So that additional ultra setting with ray reconstruction, you know, it brings you down to 30s. Oh my God, with a latency of 65 milliseconds. So the mighty 5090 still cannot keep 60 frames when this game is completely maxed out at ultra wide 1440p. It's not even 4K. Yeah, so to even see 30s is wild. All right, so yeah, we're in 40 FPS here. So let's jump up and go to a little bit of upscaling, and that should take care of it. Yeah, we're in the 70s now. So right here, preset D is fine. You know, if you're on quality upscale, don't worry about the override necessarily. It's okay. Really, where you want to worry about, you know, ray reconstruction being off is when you need to run M or L, so performance or ultra performance, and that's where, you know, ray reconstruction definitely looks really good because it's kind of its own form of upscaling. But right here, whenever you are Upscaling from quality, you should be just fine to leave that ray reconstruction on, which is preferable. You know, I would like to play it with it on most of the time if I can. I would love to get an update from NVIDIA. I don't know where they're at on that, but, you know, once it comes out, of course, I'll test it out. All right, so preset D on our override on our ray reconstruction is active, but our, you know, DLSS render resolution is not active. So right here, let's just go to balanced and see what that does. All right, so right here, 75, 77, 80, looks really good here. Naked dude on the table. Let's try to avoid him for YouTube's parental advisory, whatever they call it. YouTube's getting really weird about stuff, so on some of these games, I will just kind of block out stuff. I just want to play it safe. So I'm not a prude. I don't care about that stuff. I just really don't want YouTube to scream at me and like demonetize my channel or anything like that. So if you see that on any of my videos, you know, I'm not sensitive to that kind of stuff at all. It's just more for YouTube to like bless it and not get me in trouble. But right here, 82 FPS. So let's just keep on going. So if we go to the performance override, I would come down here now at this point and say that it looks better without the ray reconstruction on, due to the fact that the M preset looks so good. To me, the M preset looks better than losing the override and running ray reconstruction. So this is kind of how I would play it right here if I'm being honest. So right here, 100 FPS, 90 FPS. Still looks really good though. I mean, again, this is the fastest this is the fastest consumer GPU you can buy. And you still have to use upscaling if you want to just like run a game with all the different stuff just to the wall, which is crazy. So right here, and you know, I'm fine at 60. There might be people who want 120, who want, you know, 100 or whatever. So I'm kind of going through all of this. Use the chapter markers if you want to skip around. Although the more you watch my video, the more it helps my videos. So, you know, keep that in mind. All this, again, I've mentioned it before. I pay for every bit of this with my regular paychecks. So if you appreciate it, I would love to have your subscription. And drop a comment. You know, let me know what you got out of this. And that would be awesome. I love reading comments. So right here, let's just come down here. It's just not going to go in that water. But yeah, we're at 150 FPS here. Some nice rays coming through there. Looks really good. All right, so what I want to do now is come back and see what it looks like. Let's go DLAA. Leave everything completely maxed out. Leave ray reconstruction off. Actually, turn it on because we are on quality, so that's fine. It's gonna kill the override, but that's no big deal to me. All right, so let's go to 2x. All right, so 2x frame gen with ray reconstruction. You are at 85, 86 FPS here. All right, so a 2x frame gen. You're getting the 1% lows. That's the menu. That's not the game. All right, just want to double check. So your real FPS, so to speak, it's like 37 FPS. That's your 1% low. So this is kind of when we were seeing like 40s or even high 30s with a frame gen just slapped on top of it. That's why our latency is so high. 68, 65 milliseconds is not really how I would want to do it. So what I would probably do is come into here and absolutely just run a quality upscale, and that's going to get your latency back down to under 50, which for me personally is fine. You might not be the same, but again, I like to tell you what I would do and then also show you the numbers, because you don't necessarily have to agree with me. You can play however you want to. That's why I like to run through these settings so much. But yeah, 150 FPS here, 145, 134. Okay, yeah, or 143. My dyslexia kicked in there. So right now we have 47 milliseconds. So 2x is really just doing it. It's not a big deal. I'm going to go to balanced on 2x and see what we can do as far as that latency goes. It gives you 144 FPS.
See you in a bit.
Or so, which is what this panel is rated at. So this isn't a bad setting. If you want to max out 144 hertz, here you go. This would do it for the most part. You know, it's not going to be all of the time, but it will be most of the time. And of course, you can throw you know, a little bit of frame gen on it to kick it up a little bit. But right now, everything does look okay. Let's just keep on going down to some of these other settings here. So balanced, let's kick that over to performance, of course, and then come down here and turn off the ray reconstruction. All right, and leave it on 2x. So this will give us our override back. God damn, that looks so much better. Like this freaking override, like I just saw it snap from the old balanced to the new performance, and the new performance looks better. Like objectively looks better. It's sharper, it's crisper, side by side. I would say you would definitely be able to tell because it just kind of like snapped from the old to the new, and holy crap, it looks really good. So yeah, this is a viable setting as well. I really love seeing 39 milliseconds up there with just a 2x frame gen. That's pretty nice. Our 1% lows are over 60 FPS, so that's why everything's so smooth. Let's see what we can do as far as a little bit more frame gen. Just kind of keep it on performance and see what we can kind of expect here. So that preset M is still activated. That's good. And we have 35 milliseconds on our PCL with a 3x frame gen. That's really nice. 75 FPS on our 1% lows is good. VRAM, not an issue. I'm not even really talking about VRAM because it's just never going to hit 32 gigs. That's not a big deal at all. But yeah, we're looking like, holy crap, you know, 250 FPS here. In this vegetative forest is saying something. This is not an easy area to run. It's definitely running a little bit worse than the town that we just were in. All right, so let's go up to 4x here. Gives you 200, 300 FPS here. So, I mean, the point of a 5090 is basically to just be able to run a game at completely max settings, and in some cases, when you do have to use upscaling, it's not that much, so it's not a big deal. I will say that ray reconstruction messing up the new override is kind of a bummer, but on quality, I don't really see it being that big of a deal. I think that it's fine. So we'll check out quality on the new override in a second to kind of close it out. But yeah, right here, 300 FPS, not a big deal at all. Looks really good. All right, so that's 4x. So let's go to Ultra Performance and 2x. Leave ray reconstruction off because it would look really terrible without the override right now. That's 200 FPS though. Latency's low 30s. That's good. Yeah, we've got VRAM allocation around 12 gigs, so we're fine there. All right, so let's run through these real quick because I just want to get over to the kind of like the big boy, the quality upscale with that preset K without ray reconstruction. See what we do there. So you got 300 FPS here, 35 milliseconds on our PCL. The preset L looks amazing, really, really good. You could come in and, you know, on your graphic settings here, I'm not sure if this game has it built in or not, but you might have to go into the actual NVIDIA panel or whatever it's called and adjust it. But you can sharpen it up a little bit if you wanted to. That would, you know, of course, help matters out a little bit. But right here, let's just see what we got to do next. So we were at 3x just then. Let's go to 4. All right, starting to image-wise, it's starting to break down just a hair because we are pushing 480p up to 1440p widescreen. So it's definitely showing some degradation, whereas like on a 4K display, you would be doing a little bit better here. So yeah, we're just gonna look like pretty good here. Preset L is probably not as far down as I would go because I don't personally need over 300 FPS on a game like this, but I digress. Let's jump over and kind of go through a little bit of the settings here. So quality with a 2x. Actually, let's go DLAA with a 2x. So no upscaling with a 2x. Everything completely maxed out. Let's double check. We're on K. All right, yeah, so we don't have any ray reconstruction on, so that gives you 100 FPS right here. But our latency is not wonderful, mainly because our 1% lows are dragging ass a little bit, not at 60. 0.1% lows in the 30s, so we can do better. So we're going to have to do a little bit of upscaling just to kind of like get all these numbers looking good, but we'll leave it on 2x. Latency is under 50 milliseconds. That is exactly what I want to see. Preset K on quality looks just almost, it looks identical to DLAA to me. I mean, I just don't see any, I again do not see any reason now that the new DLSS model, after about DLSS 4, to not use quality. It just, that's NVIDIA's, like, you know, king right now, is their software upscaling. That's why they can release a card that's slightly underpowered than an AMD card and still outsell it, because unfortunately AMD's FSR4 does look way better, but it's not quite DLSS 4.5. You know, they caught up to them for a little bit, but I think 4.5 is dramatically better now. So NVIDIA did leap ahead again with this. So 140, 139 FPS. Yeah, we're looking good again. So let's go over here and just check out some of these different frame generations here. So that's a 3X. Excuse my phone. Everybody decides to text me whenever I'm trying to record a video. But yeah, we're at 45 milliseconds here, 200 FPS. So again, this is just kind of like for fun here at this point. 4X frame gen with preset K, of course, 42 milliseconds there. So what do we need to do next? I just want to check out everything here. So balanced with no ray reconstruction. That should stay on preset K. Yeah, it does. All right. So balanced with no ray reconstruction keeps your latency in the 30s. With a 2X frame gen, you are at 165 FPS. 1% lows look good. 75 is fine. 0.1, 71. That's really good. So 2X frame gen is just making this cake a little sweeter. The last thing you want to do is try to throw frame gen on top of something that's already a bad situation, because it's just going to make it even worse.
Welcome back.
But if you have a good situation, you can make it great with some frame gen, and that's really where that technology, you know, does a really good job. So let's go ahead and round out the very next few upscales. I'm just going to talk through these. But yeah, this has been a pretty good look at it. I appreciate everyone who has subscribed so far. If you feel compelled to subscribe, of course, jump down there, hit that button, talk to me. I try to talk to everyone. I'm very in the comments. I like to interact with you guys. So if you have anything you want to ask or make a comment about, please jump down there and do that. Usually myself or someone who's more active or active at the time will answer your question. We can get through problems if you run into them. Anything you need, just let me know. I'm here to help, and there are a few people that have started to kind of step up down there in the comments too, helping out. So I really appreciate those who have done that. But yeah, this is right here at a 4X on a balanced upscale. So this has been a very, very deep dive look at Alan Wake 2 on 1440p widescreen. And it's got to shut my screen off one more time just to do it. But yeah, we are right here at 1440p widescreen. And yeah, it's been a pretty good look. So thanks again for jumping in and watching. If you watched this whole thing, thank you so much. It really helps out the channel. Sub if you haven't. If you're not new here, thanks for coming back. I really appreciate it. And we'll see you in the very next video. Peace.